Hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here with me today. Before I dive into this story, I'd love to know, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Are you in your living room? Maybe listening while you're cooking dinner or driving home from work? Let me know. And if this story resonates with you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Your support means everything. Now let me tell you about Sarah, a 34-year-old ICU nurse whose entire world shattered in a hospital parking lot at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. The steam from my to-go coffee had already stopped rising by the time I finally looked at my phone. I was sitting in my car in the hospital parking lot, still wearing my scrubs from a brutal 12-hour night shift. My hands smelled like antiseptic, my feet ached, my eyes burned from exhaustion. I just wanted to check our savings account balance before I drove home. Just a quick look to make sure the automatic transfer from my paycheck had gone through. I opened the banking app. The number on the screen didn't make sense. It couldn't be right. I refreshed once, twice, 3 times, waiting for the glitch to correct itself. But the balance stayed the same, $1,247.38. Last week, it had been $45,000. Gone. I stared at that number until it blurred. Years of double shifts, skipped vacations, eating ramen for dinner so we could save an extra $40. All of it vanished. My hand started shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I scrolled through the transaction history with my heart hammering against my ribs like it was trying to escape my chest. Each withdrawal was a punch to the gut. Rosewood Apartments, first and last month, $3,800. Spirit Airlines, 2 passengers, $1,847. Consulting fee. RK Media, $6,500. I checked the dates, cross-referencing them with my work calendar. Every single withdrawal had happened between midnight and 4 a.m. Every single one had happened during my night shifts. While I was doing chest compressions at 2 a.m., trying to bring someone's husband back to life, my own husband was destroying mine. While I was holding the hand of a scared patient who couldn't breathe, he was transferring thousands of dollars to someone else. While I was saving lives, he was stealing my future. I looked up at our house through the windshield. The lights were off. Dean was still asleep upstairs, probably dreaming about whatever he'd bought with my sacrifice. I sat there in the cold March air, my breath fogging the glass, and felt something crack open inside my chest. It wasn't my heart breaking, not yet. It was something sharper, colder. It was the sound of my trust shattering, and underneath it, something else was waking up. Something I didn't know I had. My survival instinct. Then my phone buzzed in my trembling hand. A notification lit up the screen, the words glowing like a warning sign. New device signed into your banking account, 4:47 a.m. I looked at the timestamp, 15 minutes ago. He was awake, and he was transferring more money right now. If you're already hooked, please hit that like button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. And trust me, you'll want to subscribe, because what Sarah does next will shock you. This is a story about a woman who didn't raise her voice. She raised the evidence. Let's begin. I didn't wake him. That was the first decision that would change everything. Dean was still asleep upstairs, probably dreaming about whatever lie he'd tell me next. Meanwhile, I sat in my car in the driveway, the engine still ticking as it cooled, my phone screen casting a blue glow across my exhausted face. I opened a new note and started typing. Not emotions, not accusations, just facts. Transaction 1, Rosewood Apartments, first and last month, $4,200, March 3rd, 2:47 a.m. I checked my work schedule, night shift. I was intubating a car accident victim while he was signing a lease for his mistress. Transaction 2, Tiffany & Co., $3,800, March 10th, 1:23 a.m. Night shift again. A woman had coded twice that night. I'd held her hand until her family arrived. He'd been buying jewelry for someone else. Transaction 3, Spirit Airlines, 2 passengers, $1,847, March 15th, 3:05 a.m. I remembered that shift. A little boy with pneumonia. I'd stayed 2 hours past my shift because his mother was alone and terrified. Dean had been booking tickets to run away with her. Every single withdrawal happened between midnight and 4 a.m. He knew my schedule better than I thought. He'd been timing his theft to my shifts, knowing I'd be too exhausted to check the accounts when I got home, too focused on saving lives to notice him destroying mine. I screenshot everything. Transaction history, dates, amounts, merchant names. My hands were steadier now. This was familiar territory. Documentation, evidence, chain of custody. I'd written enough medical charts to know that facts survive when feelings don't. Then I saw it. Consulting fee. RK Media, $6,500, March 18th, 2:34 a.m. RK Media, I'd never heard of it. We didn't own a business. Dean worked in sales. He had no consulting contracts. I opened a new browser tab, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. My nurse brain was already triaging. Assess, identify, intervene. I typed slowly, RK Media. One result appeared. Not a business website, not a LinkedIn company page, an Instagram account. The profile picture loaded in sections, first pixelated, then sharp. A woman's face, mid-20s, dark hair, confident smile. The kind of smile that said she'd never eaten ramen for dinner so she could save an extra $40. The username, Real Kara RK Media. And suddenly I knew. RK Kara. The sweet co-worker from the gym Dean had mentioned exactly once, 6 months ago in passing, so casual I hadn't thought twice about it. He'd created a fake business. Transferred our money to her, called it consulting. My vision blurred. Not from tears, from rage so pure it felt like ice water in my veins. I clicked on her profile. The latest post was from yesterday, a photo of champagne flutes clinking together, pink nails with fresh acrylics, caption reading, "Celebrating New Beginnings." I zoomed in on the reflection in the glass. A man's hand. A watch I recognized. The watch I'd given Dean for our 5th anniversary. I scrolled back through Kara's Instagram like I was reading a patient chart. Clinical, methodical, looking for the diagnosis hidden in the details. 3 days ago, a photo of her hand draped across a restaurant table, showing off fresh gel nails in that expensive ombre style. The caption, "Self-care isn't selfish." The manicure salon was tagged. I recognized it, the upscale place downtown that charged $60 for a basic set. I'd walked past it 100 times, always telling myself I'd go someday when we had extra money. We had extra money. She'd spent it. 2 weeks ago, a Gucci handbag artfully positioned on her passenger seat. Not a knockoff. I could tell from the stitching, the way the light hit the leather. The caption, "When he knows your taste." 17 comments, all variations of, "You deserve it, queen," and "He's a keeper." They were talking about my husband, praising him for being generous with my money. I kept scrolling, my throat getting tighter with each post. 4 weeks ago, brunch at Bellamy's, the place I'd suggested for our anniversary and Dean said was too expensive for what you get. Kara's plate showed smoked salmon, eggs Benedict, a mimosa flight, fresh berries. The bill had to be at least $80. Caption, "Sunday fun day with my favorite person." I'd worked that Sunday. Double shift, 16 hours. I'd eaten a protein bar from the vending machine for lunch. Then I found it. The post from 5 days ago. The one that made my hands start shaking so hard I almost dropped my phone. An apartment tour video. Kara walking through empty rooms, her voice bubbling with excitement. "I can't believe this is finally happening. New chapter, new space, new blessings. So grateful for everyone who believed in me." The apartment was beautiful. Hardwood floors, granite counters, floor-to-ceiling windows. I recognized the building immediately. Rosewood Apartments, the luxury complex on Oak Street. The same one from the bank transaction, $4,200. I paused the video and studied each frame like I was looking at an X-ray, searching for the fracture. There, in the bedroom mirror. A reflection. A man's watch catching the light. I zoomed in until the pixels blurred, but I didn't need clarity. I knew that watch. Silver band, blue face, small scratch on the crystal from when Dean dropped it in the driveway 2 years ago. I'd saved for 3 months to buy it. Skipping lunches, walking to work instead of driving to save gas money. He was wearing my sacrifice on his wrist while helping his mistress move into an apartment I'd paid for. I scrolled to the next photo. Kara in the bedroom again, different angle. The mirror showed another reflection, a framed picture on the nightstand, barely visible. I zoomed until my phone screen protested. 2 people. Dean's face was unmistakable, and Kara, wearing what looked like white lace. She was in a wedding dress. I heard the shower turn on upstairs. Dean was awake. I closed Instagram, cleared my browser history, and walked into the house like I was entering an exam I hadn't studied for. My reflection in the hallway mirror showed a woman I barely recognized. Dark circles, hair still in a messy bun from my shift, scrubs wrinkled. Meanwhile, Kara's Instagram showed fresh blowouts and designer everything, all funded by my night shifts. I made coffee with hands that wanted to shake but wouldn't let themselves. Poured 2 cups. Added cream to his, the way he liked it. The performance had already begun. Dean came downstairs 20 minutes later, hair wet, humming something under his breath. He kissed my forehead, the same casual affection he'd probably given Kara yesterday, and reached for his coffee. "Morning, babe. How was your shift?" "Long." I kept my voice steady. "Dean, I need to talk to you about something." His expression didn't change, but something flickered behind his eyes. Alertness. Like a poker player who just got dealt a bad card but refused to show it. "What's up?" I pulled out my phone, showed him the banking app. "Something's wrong with our account. There's barely anything left." The performance he gave deserved an Oscar. His eyes widened. "What? How much is missing?" "Almost everything. $45,000. "What?" He grabbed my phone, scrolling through transactions with what looked like genuine shock. "This is insane. Babe, this has to be fraud, identity theft or something." He looked up at me and I saw it. The exact moment he decided to play the victim. "You don't think Sarah, I can't believe you'd even suspect." "I didn't say I suspected you." "But you're showing me like I did something wrong." His voice carried just the right amount of hurt. "I'm the one who should be upset here. Someone stole from us, and instead of us being a team, you're acting like I'm a criminal." There it was, the flip. Suddenly, I was the bad guy for discovering his crime. "You're right," I said, forcing an apologetic smile. "I'm sorry. I'm just stressed. I should have handled this better." He relaxed immediately, pulling me into a hug that made my skin crawl. "It's okay, babe. This is scary, but we'll fix it together. I'll call the bank right now, file a fraud report." "Actually," I interrupted gently, "let me handle it. I know finance is better anyway. You focus on work. I'll sort this out with the bank." I watched relief wash over his face. He thought he'd won. Thought he'd convinced me, redirected my suspicion, bought himself more time. "You sure?" "Absolutely. I'll take care of everything." He kissed me again, grabbed his keys, and headed for the door. "Thanks for handling it, babe. You're the best." The door closed behind him. I watched his car disappear down the street. Then I walked to the kitchen counter. His tablet was sitting there, screen dark. He'd forgotten it. The tablet sat on the counter like evidence at a crime scene. I stared at it for a full minute, listening to the silence of the house, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of a neighbor's lawnmower. My hands were steady when I picked it up. The screen lit immediately. He'd never bothered with a passcode on this device. "Too inconvenient," he'd said. "Too much to remember." The notification banner showed 3 unread messages. All from K. I opened the message thread. The scroll back was like watching a building collapse in reverse. Each message another floor of lies stacked on top of the last. "Morning, baby. Can't wait to see you tonight. Don't forget my rent is due Tuesday, $2,100. The necklace is gorgeous. You're so generous, babe. Did you book the tickets yet? I'm so excited for our new life together." Our new life. Not his new life. Theirs. I kept scrolling, my thumb moving mechanically. Months of conversations. The love language mixed with financial transactions made me want to vomit. Hearts and emojis punctuating demands for money. My money. Then I found the thread from 2 days ago, the one that made everything click into place. "She suspects anything?" "Nah, she's too busy at the hospital to notice. Works nights half the week. I could move out completely and she'd probably just think I was working late." LOL, probably, but seriously, we need to be careful. "We're fine. Trust me. Get the cash by Friday and we're home free." Friday, Friday, Friday. The realtor needs the down payment by then. Already scheduled the transfer. 18 Calais. Should hit your account Friday afternoon. Kara, what if she finds out before Friday? Then we leave anyway. Mexico doesn't require much. We can figure it out from there. I love you. Love you too. Just a few more days of playing house, then it's you and me forever. Playing house. That's what our marriage was to him. A performance. An inconvenience. An obstacle between him and his escape plan. I screenshot everything. backed it up to my cloud storage, my email, even texted the images to myself. Chain of evidence. Multiple copies. I'd learned that in nursing, document everything, because memory fails but records don't. Then I saw the new message come through in real time. The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, the message loaded. Kara, baby, I need to tell you something important. Another pause. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. The room tilted sideways. Kara, we need that money now. The clinic appointment is $8,000. First trimester screening, OB intake, all of it. Can you get it sooner than Friday? Dean's reply came instantly. How far along? About 8 weeks. I wanted to be sure before I told you. Dean, this is amazing, babe. We're going to be a family. 8 weeks, 2 months. The same 2 months I'd spent crying in fertility clinic waiting rooms. The same 2 months Dean held my hand through another failed round of IVF. The same 2 months he'd said, maybe it's not meant to be, while I sobbed into his shoulder. He'd been supportive, patient, understanding. He'd been lying. I opened the banking app with numb fingers, already knowing what I'd find, but needing to see it anyway. There it was, buried in the pending transactions section, a scheduled transfer for $18,000. Recipient, Kara Lane. Memo, investment return. Processing date, Friday, March 22nd, 3 p.m. 72 hours from now, the last significant chunk of our savings would be gone. I checked the calendar on my phone. Friday. In 3 days, I'd lose everything. In 3 days, they'd be on a plane to Mexico with my money, my future, my life. I navigated to Dean's email, still logged in on the tablet he'd so carelessly left behind. The search bar blinked at me. I typed, flight. The confirmation appeared immediately. Spirit Airlines booking confirmation, itinerary NK7743, route Dallas-Fort Worth to Cancun International. Departure Friday, March 22nd, 11:55 p.m. Passengers, Carter, Dean M. Lane, Kara R. Ticket type, one-way. Total $1,847, one-way. They weren't planning a vacation, they were planning an exit. My hand started shaking again. I scrolled further, found his calendar app. Friday's entry showed a single notation, big day, with a champagne emoji. He'd scheduled my destruction like it was a celebration. I opened his notes app. The most recent entry was titled Mexico Checklist. Each item had a small checkbox next to it. Transfer final payment to K, close storage unit, donate sell furniture. Sell wedding ring, Sarah's grandmother's, cancel phone plan, delete social media accounts, close joint credit cards. He was erasing me. Systematically, methodically. Like I was a subscription. He needed to cancel before starting fresh. But it was the next document that made me actually gasp out loud. A scanned rental application for a beachfront property in Playa del Carmen, the kind of place with infinity pools and sunset views, the kind of place I'd shown him on Pinterest 2 years ago, saying maybe someday when we save enough. Under primary applicant, Dean Carter. Occupation sales manager. Annual income, $67,000. Under co-applicant, Kara Lane. Occupation marketing consultant. Annual income under $20,000. I stared at that number. $120,000. That was my salary. My nursing income. The money I earned doing compressions at 2 a.m. and holding the hands of dying patients and working holidays so other people could be with their families. He'd stolen my identity. Used my income to qualify for their dream life. Put my financial credibility on an application for a home I'd never see in a future I wasn't part of. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This wasn't just an affair. This was identity theft. Fraud. Criminal. And I had 72 hours to stop it. I grabbed my phone and searched, emergency divorce attorney near me. The first result showed a woman's face. Sharp suit, sharper eyes. Ms. Anjali Patel, family law and asset protection. The tagline underneath read, protecting what's yours before they take what isn't. Reviews mentioned words like aggressive, strategic, doesn't lose. I clicked request consultation. The form asked, how urgent is your situation? I selected emergency within 48 hours. Miss Patel's office was nothing like I expected. No mahogany furniture or leather-bound law books. Just clean white walls, a glass desk, and a woman who looked like she could dismantle your life before her coffee got cold. She didn't stand when I entered, didn't offer condolences or tissues, just gestured to the chair across from her and said, you have 45 minutes, start talking. I'd brought everything, The tablet, printed screenshots, bank statements, the Mexico rental application. I laid it out like I was presenting a case study in grand rounds. Organized, chronological, factual. She listened without interrupting. Didn't take notes, just watched me with dark eyes that seemed to be calculating something I couldn't see. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. How much total? $63,000. Maybe more. I haven't checked the credit cards yet. Check them. Tonight. She pulled up something on her computer. The Friday transfer, you said $18,000? Yes. 3 p.m. And the flight leaves Friday night at 11:55 p.m.? I nodded. So he's planning to get the money, confirm it cleared, then disappear before you even realize he's gone. She looked at me directly. When do you work next? Friday night. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Perfect. He's counting on you being at work when he leaves. Miss Patel's expression didn't change, but something sharp entered her voice. He's been studying you, Sarah. Your schedule, your habits, when you check accounts, when you're too tired to notice things. This isn't impulsive. This is premeditated. The word hung in the air like a diagnosis. Premeditated. Can we stop it? My voice came out smaller than I wanted. Stop it. Miss Patel's lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. Sarah, we're not just going to stop it, we're going to destroy it. She opened a drawer and pulled out a legal pad. But first, I need to know something. And I need you to answer honestly, because the wrong answer means you walk out of here and handle this yourself. I straightened in my chair. Okay. Do you want revenge, or do you want victory? I blinked. What's the difference? Revenge is confronting him, yelling, maybe throwing his clothes on the lawn, posting the screenshots on social media. It feels good for about an hour. Then you're the crazy ex-wife, and he's the victim. She leaned forward. Victory is walking away with everything he tried to steal, while he walks away with nothing but consequences. One is emotional, one is strategic. Which do you want? I thought about the pregnancy announcement, about him holding my hand through failed IVF while planning a family with her, about the champagne emoji next to Big Day. Victory, I said. I want victory. Miss Patel smiled for real this time. Good, then here's what we're going to do. She started writing, and with each word, I felt something shift inside my chest. Not breaking. Sharpening. Dean was already home when I walked in, humming while he scrolled through his phone at the kitchen table. He looked up and smiled like he hadn't just spent the afternoon texting his pregnant mistress about their escape plan. Hey, babe. How was your day? Long, I said, setting my purse down carefully. But I talked to the bank about the fraud. His fingers stopped moving on his phone screen, just for a second. Yeah? What'd they say? They're investigating. Opened a case. Said it might take a few weeks to resolve. I pulled ingredients from the fridge, started making dinner like this was any other Wednesday. They asked if I wanted to freeze the account, but I said no, seemed like overkill. I felt him watching me. Calculating. That's good thinking, he said slowly. Don't want to make it harder to access our own money while they investigate. Our money. The lie came so easily to him. Exactly what I thought. I kept my back to him, chopping vegetables with steady hands. Actually, I was thinking, maybe we should do something nice this weekend. Use some of the savings for a little trip, just us. The chair scraped. He was standing now. I could hear it in his voice, too eager, too fast. Yeah? Where were you thinking? I don't know. Somewhere relaxing. Maybe somewhere tropical? I glanced over my shoulder, caught his expression. He looked like he'd just won the lottery. I love that idea, babe. Really. He came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist. I forced myself not to flinch. Maybe after I close this big deal at work, though. Shouldn't be long now. What deal? I kept chopping. Carrots. Precise, even cuts. Just a consulting contract could bring in some serious money. Been working on it for months. Consulting. Like the fake payments to RK Media. Like the lies stacked so high he'd forgotten which ones I was supposed to believe. That's great, honey. When do you think it'll close? End of the week, probably. Friday, maybe. Friday. Of course. Perfect, I said, and meant it in ways he'd never understand. That night, I lay in bed pretending to sleep while Dean showered. When he finally came to bed, I kept my breathing slow and even. Waited until his breath deepened, until I was sure he'd drifted off. Then I heard it. The vibration of his phone on the nightstand. Once, twice, 3 times. He slipped out of bed, taking the phone with him. I heard the bathroom door close, saw the light spill under the crack. His voice came through, muffled but audible. She's calm. She bought the fraud story completely. She has no idea. Pause. I know, baby. Just a couple more days. Another pause. Longer this time. Friday, we're gone. I promise. Then, so soft I almost missed it, I love you too. I lay there in the dark, my eyes wide open, my hand clenched into a fist beneath the pillow so tight my nails drew blood. But I didn't move, I didn't confront, I didn't cry. I just listened, documented, remembered. Because Miss Patel was right. Victory required patience. And I had exactly 48 hours left. The email from Vance Investigations arrived at 6:47 a.m. Thursday morning. Subject line, package ready for review. I opened it in my car before my shift, hands wrapped around a coffee I hadn't drunk. The attachments loaded slowly, 12 files, each one a nail in Dean's coffin. Photo 1, Dean's car in the Rosewood Apartments parking lot. Timestamp, Tuesday, 1:14 p.m. The same day he'd texted me about back-to-back meetings. Photo 2, Dean entering the building, carrying a large shopping bag. Trader Joe's. I recognized the reusable bag I'd bought him for Christmas. Photo 3, third floor hallway. Dean kissing Kara against her apartment door. Not a peck, a deep familiar kiss, the kind that said this wasn't new. Photo 4, inside a furniture store. Dean and Kara standing next to a bedroom set, her hand on his chest, his arm around her waist, the price tag visible in the corner, $3,200. Photo 5, the moment that made my stomach drop. Dean pulling out a credit card at the register. I zoomed in. Even in the photo, I could see it, the blue card. Our joint card. The video file was worse. 90 seconds of them meeting with a realtor outside a bungalow-style house. Shaking hands, Dean signing papers, Kara squealing and jumping into his arms. Vance's notes were clinical. Subject with R. Martinez, licensed realtor, regarding property at 2847 Maple Grove. Earnest money deposit of $500 confirmed via bank records, withdrawn from joint account, ending in 4392. I closed my eyes, opened them, kept reading. At 7:15 a.m., I pulled my credit report on my phone. Miss Patel had insisted. Check everything, she'd said. If he's this bold with the bank account, he's been bold elsewhere. She was right. Capital One Quicksilver, $15,000 limit. Maxed out, opened 3 months ago. I'd never applied for this card. The charges scrolled past like a horror movie. Jewelry stores, premium gas stations, restaurants I'd never been to. A charge for $2,100 to Rosewood Apartments Management. Then, Lending Club personal loan, $25,000. Approved February 18th. My signature on the digital application. Except I'd never signed it. The handwriting was close, he'd practiced. But the capital S was wrong. Too looped. My income listed, $120,000. My social security number. My employment verification. Felony identity theft. The documentation was perfect. Account numbers, dates, forged signatures. Everything Miss Patel would need. But I wasn't done. I drove to my grandmother's house, the one my parents still kept, the one where I stored things too precious for our home. I opened the jewelry box with shaking hands. Empty. The sapphire necklace, the one Grandma had worn at her wedding, the one I'd worn at mine, gone. I searched online, sapphire necklace pawn shop Dallas. Third result, prestige pawn and jewelry. The photo showed my necklace under harsh fluorescent light. Listed price, $1,200. Seller name on the receipt, Dean Carter. Date sold, March 8th, 2 weeks ago. That necklace was mine before we married. Separate property, inheritance. He hadn't just stolen money. He'd stolen my history. I forwarded everything to Miss Patel. The PI photos, the credit report, the pawn listing. Her response came back in under a minute. Perfect. Emergency hearing filed for Friday 9 a.m. Fraud packet going to the bank tomorrow morning. One question, are you ready to burn this down? I typed one word, yes. Dean was in the best mood I'd ever seen him. Whistling while he made scrambled eggs, doing a little dance move when he thought I wasn't looking. He'd shaved, put on cologne, worn his nicest shirt, the one he saved for important occasions. Big meeting today, babe, he said, kissing my forehead. Might be late tonight, don't wait up. Good luck, I said, watching him over my coffee cup. His phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit up with a preview notification. Kara, Mexico tonight? Packed and ready. Don't be late. He grabbed the phone quickly, but not before I saw it. Our eyes met for half a second. I kept my face neutral. Work stuff, he said. Sounds important. He kissed me again, longer this time, like he was trying to convince himself of something, and walked out the door. I watched through the window as he got in his car, checked his phone, smiled at whatever message he was reading. Then he drove away. I waited exactly 90 seconds. Then I grabbed my purse and headed to the courthouse. Judge Martinez was a thin woman with gray hair and no patience for nonsense. She listened to Ms. Patel's presentation with a face like carved stone. Your Honor, we're requesting an emergency asset freeze based on evidence of financial fraud, identity theft, and dissipation of marital assets. Ms. Patel slid documents across the bench. The respondent has systematically drained $63,000 from joint accounts to fund an extramarital affair. He's also forged the petitioner's signature on credit applications and sold her separate property without consent. The judge flipped through the PI photos, the forged loan documents, the pawn receipt. Where is opposing counsel? Mr. Carter retained counsel using stolen funds, Your Honor. That attorney was not notified of this emergency hearing as we filed under sealed motion due to flight risk. Ms. Patel pulled up the airline confirmation on her laptop. Mr. Carter has one-way tickets to Mexico departing tonight at 11:55 p.m. Judge Martinez's expression didn't change, but something cold entered her eyes. Temporary asset freeze granted. All joint accounts are hereby frozen pending full hearing. I'm also ordering a fraud investigation. She signed the order with sharp, angry strokes. Bailiff, ensure this is filed immediately. At 10:15 a.m., I sat in the bank's private office while Miss Patel presented the fraud packet to the manager, a middle-aged man named Robert, whose face went from polite to alarmed as he read. This is textbook identity theft, he said, studying the forged credit applications. Will initiate an immediate fraud hold. Including the pending transfer to Caroline? Miss Patel asked. Especially that one, Robert typed rapidly, blocking it now, and I'm flagging Mr. Carter's access as unauthorized activity. If he attempts any transaction, you'll be notified immediately. Perfect, Miss Patel said. I checked my watch. 10:34 a.m. Dean had no idea his entire plan had just collapsed. At 12:47 p.m., I was sitting in Miss Patel's office when my phone lit up with a notification from the bank. Transaction attempt declined, Dean Carter, in-person withdrawal request, $18,000. Then another. Card declined. Dean Carter, merchant purchase, $247.83. Then my phone started ringing. Dean calling. I answered on the third ring, my voice perfectly calm. Hello? What did you do? He was screaming, actually screaming. The accounts are frozen. I can't access anything. Oh no, I said. Must be that fraud you mentioned. Remember? You said someone was stealing from us. Silence. Then, don't play games with me, Sarah. Unlock it now. I can't, Dean. The bank flagged suspicious activity. You know. I paused. The transfers to Caroline? The silence was so complete I could hear his breathing. Have fun in Mexico, I said softly. Oh wait, I hung up. Miss Patel was smiling. Now we wait for him to do something stupid. It took exactly 43 minutes.